Today I'm going to tell you about the time that I was in a beauty pageant. First of all, hi, my name's Deni. Welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you are returning and you're not subscribed, you know what to do down there. Press subscribe. But let's get right on into it. I'm going to walk you through what my year in 2019 was like when I did this, when I had this experience. This journey actually starts, like the seed was planted in my mind. It actually starts in 2018 when I met one of my friends who, I'm not gonna say her name because she doesn't know that I'm doing this story or that it's going on the internet. But anyway, I met a friend and I found out that she had done this pageant the year before and she ended up being a runner-up. So it's just based in Australia, and then the winner from that one goes to Worlds. So the seed was planted in my mind, whatever. I went about my year in 2018, and then in 2019 I was like, I want to do that. So looked it up, figured it out, and I had to put in a headshot and I had to like fill out a little questionnaire. The funny thing about like my headshot was I had like cascading long inches of like dark brown hair, like borderline black. You could kind of see what color my natural hair is here, but it is really dark. And they were really disorganized in sending out all the information for us. Like, I had no idea what was happening. I was kind of skeptical that it was a scam as well, purely just because like the website was not super up to date and their Instagram page is like, yeah, it's like valid and it's got all the right information and stuff in it, but it's just not like, it wasn't posting anything being like, enter in regionals. Like it goes in regionals, states, and then nationals. So the person that was running my region was just really behind, and I got through to regionals and I ended up having to do regionals and states on the same day. But back to about my hair. About a month before I did regionals, I did the ponytail project and I cut off over 20 centimeters of my inches. Like, I think it was about down to here, and then it went from like to here, which in the modeling world makes you a little bit less versatile, or it did in these people's eyes. We get started and it's the day before regionals. There's a high tea. So naturally, the high tea was optional, but I was like, no, I'm making my grounds. I'm going to talk to all the people that I need to talk to. So that's what I was doing. I was just chatting around. They did little workshops and stuff because one of the ladies was a makeup artist. One of them, I think she was like a life coach or something, but she was like, how you can have a brand and what do you want your brand to be? And all that sort of thing. And I was just kind of along for the ride, so I just like made stuff up. But she helped me, make my introduction, like to introduce myself to the judges. And she was like, okay, what's your name? What are you interested in? What do you want to do? And I was like, and she was like, how old are you? She just like kept spitfiring these questions at me. And she was like, okay, stop. You need to imagine that the judges, when they say, tell us a bit about yourself, that all of these questions are being spitfired at you. And I was like, oh, true. So then she helped me like finesse my way through like introducing myself to the judges. And so for every single thing that we did, there was a dress code. So for the high tea, everyone needed to be wearing a black dress. And I don't really know why. Like, they didn't post any of that on Instagram, but so that was that. Then next day, it's regionals up first. Regionals is where most people get through to regionals. It's like, as long as you're like filling out the form and stuff, as long as it's nothing like big red flag incriminating stuff, they'll let you through to regionals. So regionals was like a really broad range of people that kind of like, some people were like, oh, I've never really done a pageant before, it was me, but I didn't act like that. They were like, oh, like, so like, what are you supposed to do? And I was like, fuck's me, I don't know. But I obviously just made stuff up because I had talked to the people the day before. We had, for regionals, and this was the same for states, but we had a activewear like walk, and we had a evening gown walk. I don't have a photo of my activewear because I actually don't know what I wore. I think I wore like bright reddy orange leggings and then a bright red sports bra, and then I had these like shoes that had like red all through them. I did win the award for best activewear in regionals. For regionals, we had a choreographer come in who I met the day before at the high tea, and I was talking to her because at the time I was into my musical theater. I've always loved singing, dancing, and acting. I like slowly like went apart from it over the years, but I would definitely love to get back into it. But so I was sitting down talking to the choreographer at the high tea a lot about the fact that I love to dance and that I had quit singing and acting for like so that I could focus on my dance to get that up to par with my singing and acting. And she was like, oh my God, I love that. That's so committed. And so she knew me straight away at regionals. And she was like, you in the front. And so she put me in the front because we had to do when we like were walking our activewear and our evening gown, we had to do like a dance, but it was more of like a walk with a lot of step taps. But it was just essentially just to show you moving and how you were carrying yourself in what you were wearing. But I was like right at the front, and there was this other girl she was a ballroom dancer, and so both of us got put at the front, and we were loving it. We were doing really well. What it is they get you in for a big chunk of time, and then it's like rehearsals, full run through, and then you essentially just do it on the stage. And then whilst this is all happening, the judges are pulling you aside and doing a little interview with you. And remember when I said I wanted to like lay my grounds down at this morning tea? Well, lo and behold, the people that I was chatting to at the morning tea were the judges. So they already knew me, and they were like, we already know you, but we have to ask you these questions. And I finessed those questions. I did really good in the regionals one. They like made me sing for them, and they were like, wow, you've got a really good voice. And I was like, thanks. But the thing about me personally is whenever I liked to sing, but whenever I had to sing in front of people, like voice wobbly, like I couldn't hold a note, and it was really scary. But I didn't do that in front of these people, which was really nice. But like there's like people in the audience that are literally just like family members, and some people that are like die hard for the pageant, but they weren't really they were just kind of like there watching pleasantly, and then they left. I ended up making it through 2 states, and I think I came 2nd or 3rd in the region. But there was 3 girls, because there was junior miss and senior miss, and I was in senior miss, even though I was at the age group to be in junior miss, but I read the thing wrong. So I ended up getting through to states for senior miss, and states happened to be the next day because the person that coordinated my region was not very organized. I literally get like 10 seconds to call my dad, and I was like, dude, I made it through. He was like, what? Because my dad had come to me, he came with me, but he just like went and did like a 3-hour golf thing so that I could just do my thing and then be gone. He didn't really think that I was gonna make it through because, well, like obviously it was like my first time doing anything really like this. So he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I need lunch. And he was like, okay. And he brings me a jumbo bag of nuts, and that is it. So then I'm sitting there munching on my nuts. My dad was like, I need to go like buy an outfit because he's in like exercise gear and it's all sweaty. And I was like, okay, like off you go. And so he had to go shopping for clothes to then be in the audience for states. And then everyone from all the different regions but within my state are arriving whilst we're like finishing up regionals, like and they like brought me and the 2 other girls like to the front, and we're like, okay, so you guys need to stay here, like you can make any phone calls you need, whatever. And we were like, okay. But then we didn't have the opportunity to like have different evening gowns and activewear and stuff. There was one girl who, she was hilarious, but she did not want to be there. And they did this question section where you had to like pick a number and it correlated to a question, and then they gave you a microphone, and in front of everyone you'd had to like answer the question. But like just before we go on stage, she was wearing like a strapless thing, and she's like pulling it on. She goes, "Time to get our world peace on." And I was like, oh my god, you definitely don't want to be here. But yeah, she was funny. Like she was really, really funny, but I was like, everyone is watching you right now, and I don't know if you want this. So we go through, we do essentially the same thing as regionals. We do like the little dance. It's a different dance this time though. We do the little dance, and then it's in activewear and also in evening gowns. And then whilst we were like rehearsing and stuff, they do the interviews again. They asked slightly different questions, but they were like, "Can you introduce yourself again to me?" And I was like, okay, my name's Deni. I'm 15 and I like musical theater. But yeah, so then we're getting to the end of like the day, and we're performing in States. And at the end, there was some girls there that like, they knew their shit, and they were like very up here, and I was just like, I just thought this would be cool. But then they're calling out the names for the people that are making it through, and they only call out that they said, they were like, oh, we're only sending 3 people through. And so they announced the chick that came first, and then they announced the chick that came second, and then they announced the chick that came third, and I was like, fuck, they didn't say my name. And then oh my god, this. And then they were like, now we had some really strong candidates today, so we've decided to send an extra person purely, and they were just like, said something really glowing about me, about like my personality. They were like, this girl, she just has a really strong personality that really shines through. And I was like, who the fuck are they talking about? And then they were like, Deni Waygood. And I just remembered every single time we did this at regionals and States, the woman got my name wrong. She was like Demi Waygood, and then she was like Demi Wellgood, and then Deni Wayward, and it just was like cycling through those ones. So I'm pretty sure she said Deni Wellgood, and I was like, fuck it, I'll take it. I'm going to nationals, bitch. So then I like took it, and there was 4 of us, and it was the 3 girls that made it through from my regionals as well. The 4 of us were going to Tasmania. Now we go to nationals, and leading up to nationals, there was a lot of like, they sent us out emails and stuff because we needed to have a certain wardrobe that, like, just before each event, they told us what they wanted us to be wearing. So everyone needed to have a pair of blue jeans, everyone needed to have a pair of black jeans, everyone needed a pair of leggings. They sent us like a t-shirt, a hat, and a sash, or I think we got the sashes when we got there. This is like insane to actually verbalize, like, because for me it's just like something that I did when I was 15, but then they said we needed like a light pink sweater and then a white sweater, and just like random things like that, and a couple of like plain white t-shirts. I'm pretty sure that's everything that we needed. We needed to arrive in the shirt that they sent us, blue jeans, and then have like a jacket. Oh, and there was like a pink puffer jacket that we needed, and with that jacket, and then they were like, and this beanie and these gloves, and I was like, fuck, okay. So like we got all the stuff, we got on the flight. It was my sister, me, and my nan, my mum's mum, that came with us. It was really like, it was a very fun trip, but like I couldn't, because we had to bunk in with like 2 or 3 other girls in like the hotel, because the hotel sponsored us. Like we had to stay there and like film ads and stuff. But throughout the whole time that we were at nationals, they were like, we want you guys to just like vlog and then send it to us on Facebook. And I was like, fuck yeah, okay, I can do this. And so we would just be like, we would get back into the bus and we'd be like, just got back in the bus, we just went to the zoo, there was so many beautiful animals, like that sort of thing. And I took that as my opportunity to talk about how much I was missing my cats. Not thinking, like, I was just filming like random like shit talking videos. Like I didn't really think that they were gonna like do anything with them, but I sent them to them anyway, so that it looked like I was still doing something. I ended up getting like featured on the Instagram, and I'm gonna see if I can like screen record it and put it here.
Now you can do stuff on your phone.
Okay, so we just finished rehearsals Oh, this is Maddie. Hi guys. We just finished we just finished rehearsals up in the rehearsal room at Best Western, and now we're going to QV Mag to rehearse on where the actual runway is going to be. And I miss my cat too much. My dad keeps sending me videos and photos of my cat, and so then I sent him a photo of the monkeys. Coda, if you're watching this, I really miss you.
No.
So that was, I remember, because that came out like after we had gotten home. I was like, damn, I made my impact there. But while we were there, we spent a lot of time, we went to a lot of different places, and like everywhere that we ate was sponsored, except for like the restaurant in the hotel, but the hotel was still sponsored, so it was all sponsored. We also had like a camera guy that followed us around, and so we would have to like stand as a group in front of like the bus hire, sponsored. The hotel, sponsored. Anytime we went out to a restaurant to eat, sponsored. Like we went to like a park and a zoo, sponsored. It was all sponsored. So we would always have to be like the camera guy would just come up to us and be like, oh, what are you doing? I would be like, eating this baked potato. And he goes, oh, where's it from? And then I'd have to like talk about the name of the place and be like, oh, and I got this, this, and this, and you can customize it every time you go there. And I felt so like, what's the word? Is it an industry plant? Because that is what I felt like. But all the while we were like visiting places and doing this sort of stuff, we were being judged and watched. And then we also had to like acclimatize ourselves with the girls that were around us, because there was like a Miss Congeniality vote, and there was like a movie night, and the cinema sponsored, and guess what movie we watched? Miss Congeniality. But everything that like, every time we went out, even when it was like at night, when we were wearing like dresses and stuff, everyone had to be wearing the same color or the same sort of, they were like, oh, this night you need to wear a pink dress, this night's a black dress, this night. And it was an exhausting experience, like always being watched, always like being told exactly what I had to wear. But it was also like, it was incredible to like see everything from like a different point of view. Because obviously Miss Congeniality is one of my favorite movies and I watch it all the time, but it definitely glamorizes the pageantry lifestyle. And I was like, I want to know what it's like for real. And it was really fun, and I have met some like really nice girls. I haven't really stayed in contact with many of them, but like I met so many people and I got to interact with so many people. We did like a dinner thing, but it wasn't a dinner, it was like, what's it when they have like cocktail dresses and stuff, and then like there's like little food and people are like walking around holding it? Whatever that is, we did that, and it was at like the Lord Mayor's like place. And so we were just like chatting on with politicians. I'm pretty sure I was just talking to him about like how I'm half British and half Australian. And like, just like, because here's the thing, if you give me a topic, I can talk forever. So that's what I did with this guy who I didn't know who he was. So I just started talking. And then he was like, oh, by the way, my name's this, and I'm this. And I was like, oh, my name is Deni, I'm 15. But anyway, all the while that all these events and stuff were happening, we were also having rehearsals for the like final night, where we walked down the runway and everything. So then we were like getting to know what order we needed to be walking in. There was more of that choreography happening, but it was in like a museum with a really long catwalk. So it was longer and more like big. And then the big fateful night comes. And so we have 3 different walks down the runway, and then we also had like behind the scenes, we had like a bikini walk, or it was like swimwear or something. As we were getting ready, like we had hair and makeup artists and stuff come in and do our thing. As we were getting ready, they would just like call people out like one by one to talk to them. They ended up doing my hair, because the hair was supposed to be like slick in like a low ponytail, because they didn't want it to distract from like the clothes that we were modeling. And then everyone like cracked the shits a little bit, because then we couldn't dress our hair the way that we wanted for our evening gowns. But I was just kind of like, oh, I don't care. They did my hair, and they like parted it on the side and put it all like over, and then like made this part like wavy. And I was like, this does not work, it's in my face. So I just did it myself, and like I did like a half up, half down thing to keep it out of my face, and it worked a lot better than whatever the fuck they did. But I think I might have actually gotten points deducted from doing that, but whatever. Then they did the interview, and this whole time that I was there in Tasmania, I completely like neglected to realize the fact that like they were going to interview me again like they had at the other two things. So I was not prepared at all. I just kind of sat down and they were like, tell us a bit about yourself, and I was like, and then I like reverted into my old thing. So I reverted back into like what I said at regionals and states, which was a little bit different. They were looking for something different at nationals, and that's I think where my downfall came. I ended up being in the top, like, I don't remember how many there were. It was like top 15 in Australia or something, but I didn't end up like placing or winning anything, except for an awesome experience. But we got to model wedding dresses and this really cool like knitwear stuff. And the lady that did the knitwear, she was like an artist. Like, I don't know if she was like 100% of the time doing knitwear, but like that line was so cool. And I could have like stared at all the stuff that she has to wear all day. They got a top 6 from Junior Miss and Senior Miss, and then they would call them up individually and ask them questions on the stage, which I didn't make it through to that segment because I didn't get through to the top 6, but it was a very interesting and eye-opening experience, and I can't do it again now because I have tattoos, and I'm pretty sure that's like, and like they're not allowed. But anyway, I did want to do it again, and then COVID happened in like 2020, and then just like one thing led to another, and I was like, nah, I can't do this. So I didn't do it again, but it was a very intriguing experience, and I ended up like going to Tasmania for the first time. I've never been to Tasmania. I got to go on holiday with my sister and my mom's mom, which was very cool. So yeah, that is the story of how I was in a beauty pageant at age 15. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, you definitely must have enjoyed. So you should subscribe down below, and you should like this video, and I will see you next time. I upload Monday and Thursdays both at 5:30, so watch out for videos then. Bye!